Hello everyone, my name is Ava Boggs, and today I'm here with Mr. Todd McKinley. We'll be doing an interview. So first of all, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here at Volunteer High School, absolutely. So first of all, we'll talk about your experience in the military. So you were in the military for a little over 20 years, correct?
Correct, 20 years, 29 days, correct.
And during your time, you gained a lot of awards and had a lot of accomplishments there. So first of all, let's just start off. Why did you decide to go into the military? Because you were fresh out of high school, I believe, or you were still a senior.
Right, correct, yeah. So many different reasons, and I think it boiled down to, getting good education, getting a decent job, and at the same time that on-the-job training, and being able to see the world, I think was a big part of it. Northeast Tennessee, as I've said before the interview, it's still going to be here. So why not go out and experience the world and see what you can see, right? And of course, at the same time, whenever you decide to leave the military, you bring all that knowledge and experience with you, and of course, it only benefits a local community whenever you come back.
Yeah. So would you say the military is a great position for anyone out of high school?
Absolutely. I would absolutely advocate for that. Anybody who's thinking about it, even if you're on the fence, I'd say just investigate, see what kind of jobs and career fields that they have to offer, and make your choice after that. Don't be afraid of it. People fear the unknown, and of course, I think once you realize, hey, it's just one more thing. It's like going to college. You're going to fear going to college, but once you're there, it's like, it's just going to school. Same thing about you go to your work every day, right? And let's say it's like going to a different job. You know what I mean? So why not experience it? Why not try it out? It's not going to kill you unless it does. but no, it's a good time. And I think it's worth for anybody, especially a young person, experiencing it and giving it a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of positions in the military as well, so it's not exactly like a one size fits all. Like anyone can potentially try it out. And
many different career fields for sure. Like they have career fields, people doing things like that you're doing right here.
Yeah, and more than that, the military is going to always be a job offer. Like we're always going to need the military in the United States, so it's always going to be a great job offer. For sure.
Well, let's hope so, and especially as long as the U.S. stands, as long as we have a constitution, which the federal government must provide for the common defense, we'll continue to have a military. Let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that time in the military, what values did you gain during your time there? Do you think have influenced you for the remainder of your career?
Well, I can tell you, in the Army we had what are called Army values, which stands for loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And that acronym spells out leadership. So those are values that I carry with me every day. And of course, growing up, I had a good family that inculcated certain values, but at least in the Army, it's kind of spelled those values out.
Yeah, so delving a little deeper into your military career, what rankings did you reside in during your time there?
So I became a senior non-commissioned officer fairly quickly. But I came in as just a private E2 and worked my way up fairly quickly. And I made the E7 Sergeant First Class list at 6 years, 10 months. Promoted to 8 years and 2 months. And I stayed for 11 years, 11 months as a senior non-commissioned officer.
It's amazing. You also worked for the White House Military Office for about 6.5 years.
Correct.
So what was the experience like working there?
Very, very interesting. And being able to see world leaders up close and personal. And it's kind of neat, having, met Queen Elizabeth II on 2 occasions.
Wow.
And of course, met a Pope, met many presidents, prime ministers and stuff, and kind of being in rooms actually with them, sometimes no bigger than this, and just being able to chat with them for a few minutes, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And just being able to experience, you see them on TV or on news, and being able to just have that one-on-one, just kind of, this is actually just a regular person, if you will, in many respects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you enjoy most about the position there?
Well, I can tell you, I think it was just the people you got to meet, the world leaders, and of course at the same time just the people that work for these folks, and getting to know them and know their background and get to know their experiences and see that in a lot of ways we're all the same, if you will. We all have wants, we all have desires, and we all want what's best for ourselves, our family, and kind of just being able to talk to people from different backgrounds and kind of. I don't know, just being able to kind of see what they're all about, and kind of I think it creates a well-rounded experience as a human being, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you also sort of helped run the 2020 election, correct?
Well, I worked on the campaign.
Yeah.
I worked on the 2020 campaign, so I was a staff lead. and traveled the country. Did a lot of surrogate events, if you will, meaning people who would go speak on behalf of, say, the president, vice president, and help campaign for them. But I also did a lot of presidential rallies and vice presidential rallies in the lead up to the 2020 election, which tomorrow here in Tennessee is Super Tuesday. So another election is upon us. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. So do you think there was any added stress because 2020 was the year of COVID? Do you think there was any stress because of COVID?
I think we're still experiencing that in a lot of ways. Especially you have younger people who had to, wear a mask and had to do all this social distancing and online learning at a young age, especially middle school kids, elementary school kids, and even younger high school kids.
Yeah.
That's not something that they should have to experience because they need that in-person socialization, if you will. And that's kind of how you grow as a human being and learn how to act certain ways and how to work together in a professional setting, if you will. Because in a lot of ways, think about high school, and you go out to the job market, a lot of the things that you learned in high school, how to act amongst one another, group settings, how to work on projects, teamwork, things of that nature, you're going to actually apply that in the real world.
Yeah.
So a lot of ways you kind of lost that during the COVID year or two that was going on.
Yeah, so do you think with COVID going on, do you think it sort of changed the outcome of the political outcome?
I think it changed the political climate. I don't know that it necessarily changed the outcome. I think it made certain things a little easier, but at the same time made a lot of things a little bit harder. Not going to get into the whole, the dynamics of the 2020 election.
Yeah.
But it certainly changed things for certain, without a doubt.
Yeah, and it...
Not for the good.
Certainly not. And I mean, that whole year kind of was a massive headache for everyone. So I'm sure it just was more of an annoyance than anything else, for sure. So moving on, so you happen to be working on multiple books, one of which is called Veteran Suicide and My Late Best Friend Bradley J. Bush, which is a heartbreaking story of the experience you've had in the military and experience other people have had in the military.
Right.
So on your website talking about the book, you wrote that it wasn't a biography, but instead a reminder that life is precious and that a veteran or anyone who commits suicide is more than just a number or statistic. They are a fellow human being.
Right.
And that's a super powerful sentence, I must say. So why do you think so many people disregard these veteran suicides as just another number, another statistic, or just another obituary in the news?
Right. Well, a lot of it boils down to say only 1% of our population has ever or will ever serve in the military. So a lot of people don't know veterans and what they've actually been through, especially those who've served overseas and in situations where they've had friends, been hurt, killed, blown up, or they've had to do the same thing to other people. So it's not something that's a normal everyday job, So you experience things that are a lot different. And you can't, in the civilian world, people here can't necessarily relate to it. So they don't really have a lot of people that they can actually talk to. I think a lot of that, it plays into somebody committing suicide. People don't know, people don't care. And of course, you make sometimes it's a rash decision based on, a certain mindset. And I don't want to try to get into the mind of somebody who's committed suicide because I don't know. But anyway, we boil it down to more than just a number because the statistic is it's about 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less.
Yeah.
But that's the statistic, and that's what a lot of people know. But these are human beings we're talking about. These are somebody's brothers, aunts, uncles, and so on and so forth, mothers and fathers. So they're human beings just like you and everybody else here.